In the daytime, if we look up, we see only the sun, the sky, and the clouds. Look up at the sky at night. What do you see? You see the moon and hundreds of little lights. You may think all the lights are stars, but some of them are not stars. They are planets. They move around the sun in circles. We call the sun and its planets the solar system. Planets make no light by themselves. We can see them because they reflect the sun's bright light. We can see them only at night. A planet is like a huge ball. Some of these balls of rock and some are balls of gas. Do you want to see a planet more closely? Look down at the ground. You are standing on a planet. That's right, Earth is a planet. It is the third planet in our solar system. There are 8 planets in our solar system. Mercury is the first planet. It is the closest to the sun and it is one of the smallest planets. There are many holes of Mercury. These holes are called craters. They look like the craters of volcanoes. Rocks from outer space fell on Mercury a long time ago and made the craters. Venus is the second planet. It is terribly hot. In fact, the temperature on Venus is around 470 centigrade. We cannot really see Venus. It is covered with clouds, so we
Celsius.
470 Celsius. We cannot really see Venus. It is covered with clouds, so we see only its clouds. They cover the planet like a thick blanket. Venus is not a star, but perhaps you have called it a star. Perhaps in late evening you have looked up at the sky and said, "Starlight, starlight, bird star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight." Do you ever wish on a star? Venus is probably the first star you see at night, so perhaps you really wish on the planet Venus. Earth is the third planet. It is farther from the sun than Mercury and Venus. Earth is larger than Venus and larger than Mercury. It is the only planet that has oceans. Perhaps it is the ocean planet with living things on it. Mars is the fourth planet. It is smaller than Earth. People thought there was life on Mars. One day, the rovers scored an Australian explorer picked up a stone in Antarctica. She said it to NASA. NASA said it was a rock from Mars. They found air bubbles in the rock. A bubbles containing molten air. There were little tunnels in the rock too. These were little tubes as thin as a human hair. Perhaps they were the fossils on an ancient animal. Perhaps there was life on Mars a very long time ago. But more amazingly, in 1997, the Pathfinder spacecraft landed on Mars. It carried a high-tech camera for the first time. The world had clear photos of the landscape on Mars. We could see mountain plains and mountain places in color. Jupiter is the fifth planet. It is huge. It is called Jupiter because Jupiter was a great Roman god. If we cut Jupiter into place, we could make 1,000 Earths. Be careful, don't step on Jupiter. It is made completely of gas. There is no land to step on. Saturn is the sixth planet. It is the second largest planet in the solar system. Saturn is famous for its rings and its moons. The rings are made of pieces of rock and pieces of ice. Most of Saturn is ice and gas. The center of the planet is iron, and inside the iron center there is ice and more gas. Saturn has more than 50 moons, which have names. It also has a few very small ones with no names. Titan is Saturn's largest moon. In fact, it is larger than the planet Mercury. The moon Enceladus is commonly compared with smooth ice, so it is the shiniest body in the solar system. The moon Aptus is black on one side and white on the other. Uranus, the seventh planet, is bigger than Earth. It is really cold and wind blows around it at 900 km per hour. It is surrounded by a deep polar hydrogen and helium. Uranus has rings too, but there are many chunks of black ice, so the wings on Uranus are black. Neptune is the eighth planet. It is a big ball of gas, and it is 30 times further from the sun than Earth. It is very cold on Neptune. The temperature there is minus 220 centigrade, like Uranus. It is very windy. Sometimes we think 1 year is extremely long, but just imagine a year on Neptune. A year on Neptune is 164 0.8 times longer than a year on Earth. It takes 164.8 years for Neptune to go around the Sun. Scientists found Pluto in 1930. It was considered a planet until 2006. In 2006, however, scientists decided it was just a massive lump of ice and rock. They put Pluto in similar object in a new category known as dwarf planets. Pluto's new name is 13434 General Pluto. No space probe has ever visited because it is too far away. A Hubble Space Telescope took pictures of it with a special camera, so now we know what it looks like. Our solar system is tremendous. The Sun is 1.4 million kilometers across. The Earth is 149 million kilometers from the Sun. The solar system is only one tiny part of the universe. The universe is so big we cannot imagine it. We are so small. 간책.
우주는 크고
우린 쬐까네. 우린 쬐까네. 이요. Planets make no light by themselves. We can see them because they reflect the sunfire light. We can see them only at night. A planet is like a huge ball. Some of this are balls of rock and some are balls of gas. We want to see a planet more closely. Look down at the right. You are sitting on the planet. That's right. Earth is a planet. It is the third planet in our solar system. There are 8 planets in our solar system. Mercury is the first planet. It is the closest to the sun, and it is one of the smallest planets. There are many holes on Mercury. There are holes and whole craters. They look like the craters of volcano rocks from outer space. Well, Mercury a long time ago and made the craters. 29초.
잘했어. Okay, so what's the title?
We are so small. 정말 쬐까네요.
Okay, page 6. What do we see if we look up in the daytime?
We see only the sun, the sky, and the clouds.
What do we see at night?
The moon. We see the moon and hundreds of little lights.
Are all the little light stars?
But no, some of them are not stars. They are planets.
Right. What do we call the sun and planets?
We call the sun and its planets the solar system.
Right, solar system. Have you ever studied the solar system in
Yes.
school?
Yes.
Good. Next page. Do planets make light by themselves?
Yes. No, planets make no light by themselves.
Right. Okay. 자, 그러니까 what's the difference between stars and planets? 그러니까 차이점이 뭐야? Stars하고 planets하고.
Stars make light by themselves, but planets make no light by themselves.
그렇지. 그러니까 지구는 뭐야?
지구는 행성.
지구는 stars야, planets야.
planets.
planets지.
네.
스스로 비춰지는 게 아니고.
그러면 지금 하고 있어요. 너무 하고 있어요.
Why can't we see the planets? 자, 스스로 빛을 내는 게 아닌데 우리 볼 수 있잖아.
Because they reflect the sun's bright light.
Right.
반사해서.
Is Earth the first planet in our solar system?
Yes. No. Mercury is
무슨 소리를 바뀌었어?
Mercury is the first planet.
그러니까 지구는
지구는 이제 그 third planet.
right, it is the third planet. How many planets are there in our solar system?
8 planets.
Okay, there are
8 planets.
8 planets in our solar system. 옛날에는 몇 개로인지 알아?
9개.
옛날에 9개로 했었지? 바뀐 거야 이제? 새롭게 이제 발견된 그 지식에 따라서. What are the holes on Mercury called?
These holes are called craters.
Right. Okay. Page 10. What is the second planet?
Venus is the second planet.
What is the temperature on Venus?
It's around 470 centigrade, no?
Celsius.
Celsius.
응? 다시?
It's around 470 Celsius.
오케이. 이 온도가 어느 정도인지 한번 체험을 온도계를 한번 대고 가서. Why cannot we really see Venus?
Because it is covered with clouds, so we see only these clouds.
What is probably the first star we see at night?
Venus.
Venus, right. Have you ever seen
Yes.
Venus?
Yes.
Page 12. What is the name of the third planet?
Earth is the third planet.
How is Earth different than other planets?
It is the only planet that has oceans. Perhaps it is the only planet with living things on it.
그렇지. 모든 게 갖춰져 있잖아. 지구에는. What is the name of the fourth planet?
Mars.
What were in the bubbles in the rock?
The bubbles contain molten air.
Okay, the bubbles contained
Molten air.
뭐를?
Molten air.
Martian
Air.
air. Martian이 어디야?
화성에.
화성이지, Martian.
네.
어?
네.
규리가
네.
그 장하 장수가 어디까지 갔어?
화성까지 가서.
Martian까지 갔잖아 그때.
네.
어?
거기까지 가서 꽂혀서.
그치, Mars까지 갔잖아, Mars.
네.
어?
네.
그건 화성이고,
네.
이거는 화성에 이런 뜻이니까 Martian air. What else was in the rock?
There were little tunnels in the rock too.
오케이, 그렇지. 그래서 그 교리가 화성에 갔더니 뭐가 있었다 그랬어? There are canals. canals. 운하들이 있었다 했잖아. Page 14. What happened in 1997?
The Pathfinder spacecraft landed on Mars.
Okay, Pathfinder. 그치, Pathfinder. spacecraft. 우주선 이름이 길찾기다, 그치? 길찾기. Path가 길이잖아. Pathfinder.
길찾기 우주선.
길 찾는 놈이다. 길 찾는 애다. 그치? 자, 길라잡이다. 길라잡이. 자, what was the spacecraft carrying?
It carried a high-tech camera.
Okay, space age camera. What is the name of the fifth planet?
Jupiter is the fifth planet.
Okay, why is it named Jupiter?
Because Jupiter was the great Roman god.
Right, page 16. What is the name of the sixth planet?
Saturn is the sixth planet.
Okay, what is Saturn famous for?
Saturn is famous for its rings and its moons.
What are the rings made of?
The rings are made of pieces of rocks and pieces of ice.
How many moons does Saturn have?
15 moons. Saturn,
15? 이거 몇 개 가지고 있어? 문을?
Saturn has more than 50 moons.
Okay. And what is Saturn's largest moon?
Titan is Saturn's largest moon.
Okay, page 18.
아니 근데 행성보다 위성이 커.
그렇지. What is the name of the seventh planet?
Uranus, the seventh planet.
Okay, what is the weather like on it?
It's really cold and the wind blows around it at 900 km per hour.
얼마?
900km.
시속?
900km.
이거 엄청난 바람이 부는 거지? 엄청 빠른 바람이 부는지? 강한 바람이다.
도착하기만 해? 하고 날아.
오케이. 그 옛날에는 이게 그 700km일 거라고 생각했어.
왜요?
아니 옛날의 지식으로.
옛날에는.
점점 밝혀지잖아. 그치? 밝혀진 바를 정확하게
900km.
현재로 알고 있는 거는.
또뭐 1200 될 수.
또 바뀔 수 있어. 또 발견이 되면 새로운 게.
1000km.
천문학은 계속 바뀔 수가 있어.
더 갑자기.
우리가 인간이 보는 그게 시야가 제한적이잖아. 그러니까 이제 또 더 좋은 많은 경이 또 발견되면 더 좋은 기술이 발전돼가지고 또 새로운 사실을 알게 되면 우리가 잘못 알고 있었군. 이런 게 많아.
근데 그럼 공부 다시.
그럼 다 바꿔야 돼 또. 그런 게 굉장히 많아 천문학은. 이 발견을 근거로 하는 거기 때문에. What color are the rings of Uranus?
Rings of Uranus are black.
What is the name of the eighth planet?
Neptune is the eighth planet.
Okay. How long is 1 year on Neptune?
A year on Neptune is 164.8 times longer than a year on Earth.
Right. 1년 지내려면
하루살이 같은 기분일 것 같은데.
사람 거기 살면은 뭐 1년도 안 돼 죽는 거지?
하루살이 같은
하루살이도 안 되는 거네, 여기는.
반살이.
How did you get pictures of Pluto?
The Hubble Space Telescope took picture of it with a special camera.
Right. So
No.
now we know
What it look-
Pluto looks like. How big is the universe?
The universe is so big.
So we
We cannot imagine it.
imagine it, right?
Sure, let's start from the beginning. What do you see in the sky at night?
The moon and hundreds of little lights.
Great job! Those little lights are stars. Some of them are planets. Do you know which planet is the brightest?
Venus is probably the first star we see at night. So perhaps we literally wish on the planet Venus.
That's correct. Venus is often the first star we see in the evening because it's so bright. Now, do you remember what makes Earth special?
Earth, it is the only planet that has oceans. Perhaps it is the only planet with living things on it.
Exactly. Earth is the only planet we know of with oceans and living things. Now, do you remember which planet is the biggest in our solar system?
Jupiter is biggest in our solar system.
That's right. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. It's huge. Great job so far.
다 했나 보다.